Hello, welcome to the Chef Ava Marie Happy Hour Thanksgiving Special. I am your host, Chef Ava Marie, and today we're here to solve your Thanksgiving dilemmas. Here on the panel, we have a 2017 World Seafood Champion and the blogger of Prize of Cooking blog. Please welcome on the panel Kim Banick. Hello, Kim. Come and get Kim in here. Add to the stage. Hello, Kim. How are you?
Thank you. It's only 11 o'clock.
Yeah,
Just
that's
get,
right.
yep.
Okay. Next on the panel, we have a Pillsbury Pickup winner. She is another WFC competitor, and she is an all-time sous vide expert. Can we add Lisa Keys? Hi, Lisa. How you
Hi,
doing?
Ava. Hi, Kim. Thanks for having me. And thanks
You
for that lovely
welcome.
introduction.
You welcome.
Nice,
So
nice to be here and see you all.
you too. So what are your Thanksgiving traditions as kids growing up? So let's start with Kim.
Oh, tradition would always be that we had much the same menu all the time. Not a whole lot of change. We're not things. Was this
Wow, that's
tradition?
fantastic.
Yeah, that's it.
What about you, Lisa?
Traditions growing up. Well, we're a big Italian family, so we actually had a lot of Italian food like pasta and things like that served. But
Uh,
we always had a dried out kind of a turkey and what else? I guess the thing that I've carried through is a sausage stuffing. It would not be
uh,
Thanksgiving without
yeah,
a
right?
sausage stuffing. So that's probably the one thing that I still make from my childhood.
Good.
My
And for me, I grew up in a Mexican Norwegian household. So I used to go to my grandma's every Thanksgiving growing up. So my grandma would make is turkey. My aunt would make the stuffing and her famous enchilada casserole, which won actually a ribbon at the San Mateo County Fair, which, la, it's
That
just,
sounds
it's
good.
that sounds really
Of
yeah.
course. So we're still waiting for Kevin. So he
You know
should
what?
be here shortly. So
You talk
so
about
let's just
yeah. No, I was gonna say talking about tradition. The one thing that I think that tradition that I broke was that my mom always put the stuffing in the bird,
yeah.
Mine
and I
too.
don't do that
Oh,
anymore.
Kevin just joined us. Let's add him to the stage. He is the Farming Table to Hope, and he's a former chef and poet. So he's a poet these days. Let's add him to the stage. Welcome, Kevin.
Hello.
Hello. How you doing?
Hey, good morning. Can you hear me?
I can hear
Yes.
you. So
Perfect.
hi
Nice.
to my ladies.
Hi,
Kevin,
Kim. Hi, Lisa. Nice to meet y'all. Nice
You
to
too,
connect with
Kevin.
y'all.
You too. So introduce yourself, but he's my neighbor.
Yeah, I'm born and raised in South San Francisco. Um,
Yep.
and I started a nonprofit in San Francisco called Farming Hope. It's a job training program for folks that are formerly homeless or incarcerated. Uh, they do a
Wow.
restaurant training and work in basically um, a kind of like a restaurant operation space that we have in the city to make a bunch of meals. Where right now, I think Farming Hope makes like 3,000 meals a week for different
Wow.
shelters and different folks in need around the city. And we do like guest chef dinners. If you want to check it out at any point, it's just on farminghope.org.
That's
And
Fantastic.
awesome.
yeah,
Yeah.
I left my job there about 3 or 4 years ago, and I've just been doing some nutrition education, cooking, and like Chef Ava mentioned, I write poetry, and I've been doing kind of focusing more on poetry.
Good. So Kevin, what are your Thanksgiving traditions going up with? Because we're both Mexican, So what did you do with your sister growing up? What are you guys' traditions as kids?
Yeah, I actually for the longest since the longest that I can remember, my mom, both my parents moved here from Mexico, from
Oh
Jalisco.
wow.
Guadalajara it's a pretty big municipal city in Mexico, but
Oh,
my mom uh works as a janitor at a local Kaiser Permanente, and she has a
wow.
lot of really amazing coworkers that do potlucks and share recipes. So
Uh,
a long time ago, my mom learned or like tried a Salvadoran recipe for panes con chumpe or panes con pavo, which is basically just like a turkey sandwich. So
wow.
I like to say that we skip the sometimes painfully dry turkey, like typical American meal, and we go straight to the turkey
Yes.
sandwiches,
Yeah.
which I really appreciate. So it's a turkey that's been cooked in like it's basically like a mole that has like 20 different
Mhm.
ingredients. And it's almost served like a banh mi on like a nice soft roll with a little bit of mayonnaise, some watercress, radish, cucumbers, some jalapenos too. It's really delicious. If y'all have never tried it before, I would highly recommend like finding a Salvadoran restaurant near you or somewhere that you could try it. It's really really good. It's my favorite
Yeah.
Thanksgiving meal. So
If
that's our
you
tradition.
That sounds amazing.
Kim, if you could find an Oregon and Pennsylvania, Lisa, I don't know sure you guys have it in your area neck of the woods, you know.
Yeah, we've got quite an extent of different ethnic restaurants around here. So I probably could do something like that, but I'd be willing to even see if I can't even duplicate it at home. But I know going to the source is always better.
Right.
But yeah.
Yeah. Well, sorry I joined a couple minutes late. I was just figuring out technology stuff and getting the link, but would love to hear quick intros from Kim and Lisa. Sorry if you already introduced yourselves.
No.
Go ahead, Kim. You go first.
All right. Well, I know Ava because of the World Food Championship, and I also Lisa because of that as well. And Lisa and I were on a sponsored team, probably starting back in 2015, 16, 17.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
we each other through competition for many years, and just recently got to meet up again in the beginning of October, where her husband competed at Build a Better Burger Sutter Home. Yeah. So no, I'm the 2017 World Seafood Champion. Lisa, you were like second in your.
Yeah, I missed by 100th of a point or something like
That's
that.
okay.
I came in second.
Was because sponsored by this wonderful woman, Susie, and she just had this mass. We had a great team, and that was 2017. But I know, and I won't steal Lisa's shine, but and things that have been happening in her life. But I love to compete, and that's how I met Ava, and that's how I've met Lisa and so many of the other food competitors. I do have a food blog, The Prize of Cooking, and so I like to help other people learn how to do competitive cooking.
Mhm.
But honestly, you have to have a passion for,
Oh yeah.
recipe creating and doing that. And so that's what I like to do. During the week, I work with disabilities, and a lot of times we spend considerable amount of time in the grocery store and cooking meals for their freezer.
That's fantastic.
It's a one-on-one. And then also lately, this one gentleman that has cerebral palsy that I support, we go once a week and we package food for the food share.
Uh-huh.
We're out there doing that, and helping feed people. But it's a love, a passion for food, and I love it.
How cute. So what are your Thanksgiving? You want to go ahead?
Oh.
Yeah.
No, go ahead, Ava.
So what are your Thanksgiving traditions now and at this day and era in 2020 to present?
2023.
You got it. We're in the present moment, guys, you know, from after your childhood, you know, so it's the same.
I definitely do more sous vide cooking.
Mhm.
And it helps really streamline the process when you're having a big dinner and lots of company coming. So that's probably my biggest change, I would say.
What are you sous videing, Lisa?
I am going to do a turkey breast, a stuffed turkey breast, and I'm going to do carrots. I love sous vide vegetables. They just turn out so well. And, I don't have to babysit anything. So that's what I really love about it. We also serve a smoked turkey. My husband takes care of that. And then, some of the usual side dishes. I already have a bunch all ready to go in my freezer. So that's awesome. My biggest change, I would say.
Well, I appreciate your the sous vide because of your introduction when you started doing it is how I got doing it. And I don't do it as often as I probably could, but I tell you what, everything we've done there in sous vide, whether it was scallops or meat, it's just been amazing.
Oh, I'm so glad I inspired you to try it. That's sort of what my cooking is all about, is inspiring others to get in the kitchen, bang a few pots together. And it's very therapeutic for me to do that. Yeah,
I feel like the sous vide has definitely been a game changer. I think I first cooked my family still does the same Thanksgiving thing, so we're still doing the Salvadoran panes con chumpe, the sandwiches. It stayed the same. And my mom, for the longest time, had just roasted the turkey whole in the oven, and we're like dousing it with this sauce afterwards, so it's not like it's gonna be dry. But I convinced her to start giving me the breasts to cook sous vide, I think 3 or 4 years ago, and now like every year she's like, "You're in charge of the breast. Do it that way. It's better."
Everybody loves it.
It is really, really good. As someone who hadn't had turkey breast that was that moist, I was really surprised the first time I had it. I was like, whoa, I didn't realize that turkey breast or chicken breast could be cooked like this.
Well, it's much more accessible to the home cook now because immersion circulators are not so expensive.
Yep.
And so I think a lot more people are involved in it. And food, the aroma of the food, the texture, everything is, to me, so much better.
And for me, I always make homemade cranberry sauce because getting it from a can is, oh no, I don't want to get my sauce from a can. This year, when my mom says it's not doing well, I decided get the can this year. But I just been making sauce for many years. I love making sauce with citrus. It's the thing in the 90s. People use cans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And now I just make it with homemade, always homemade,
Well, it's easy to doctor up a can if you need to.
You can boost it up a little bit.
Yeah.
I know. And Lisa, remember years ago when we were introduced to a cooking competition by the cranberry Cape Cod.
Yes.
Cape Cod cranberry.
Yeah.
So they're in the East Coast, which where you are.
Right.
They mailed all of these fresh cranberries. They were fresh frozen, I think.
Right.
They were some of the most beautiful cranberries ever. And we got to create all kinds of dishes with these cranberries. Yeah. I made it.
I agree with you. They were the most beautiful cranberries I've ever seen.
Absolutely.
And, I do love that other company, Ocean Spray, but these were really large and beautiful color and delicious.
Do you remember what you made for Cape Cod?
I do. I made, of course, I love to bake. So I did a creme brulee cranberry breakfast pastry.
Wow.
And it was basically puff pastry stuffed with a cranberry sauce and then baked in the oven with a creme brulee cream over the top. And I still love that recipe to today. And then I did a salmon recipe with a sauce made with the cranberries, as I remember. And then a cauliflower rice, I think I did with that. How about you? Do you remember what you did?
The one thing that sticks out to me was the Asian sticky wings that I did with the cranberry sauce.
Oh.
demoed them at the Oregon State Fair. And so I got a hold of Cape Cod, and they mailed me enough of their fresh cranberries so that I could, and then even coupons and stuff. I was demoing them. We sampled them out, all these spicy cranberry sticky wings. So yeah, but so I didn't win anything, but I won something. You know
Well,
what
our
I mean?
connection with these companies has been really wonderful, and especially Saucy Mama, who sponsored us at World Food. I do miss that connection terribly.
Yeah, my best friend does too, Becca Evans. We love you, girl. So
Yeah.
hope you're doing well. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
So Kevin, just to introduce myself, because I didn't actually get to do that, I started competitive cooking. I'm a home cook, maybe 35 years ago. And as Ava mentioned in the introduction, my very first contest was the Pillsbury Bake Off. And when you go to these competitions, these companies treat you like royalty, and you are quickly just bitten by the bug of wanting to enter more and more contests. And over the years, I've met the most wonderful people and made friends across, the world through those competitions. Kim and Ava being two of my favorites, of course. And but in my real life, I was a physician's assistant, and I'm retired from that. And I write a food blog called Good Grief Cook. That kind of keeps me busy.
But you're very humble. You're not letting him know that you chopped grandma.
Oh, I mean,
she's
see,
knowledgeable,
I have my
hon.
friends to do that for me.
I know, I will.
I won Chopped in 2014. I was on their Mother's Day episode. And so that's,
Awesome.
I guess, my biggest claim to fame.
But you've so many other competitions. I mean, multiple that include your grandkids and family. And, it's not just about cooking the food. You always made this very family oriented, especially with the grandkids stuff.
Yeah. Well, my cooking really is inspired by the love, for those people. And it just comes from a place sort of deep in my heart.
Mm-hmm.
And they really do inspire the recipes, places I've been, and the people I love. And that just comes out in whatever I'm doing, I think.
Okay.
Kevin, do you travel?
Do I travel?
Yeah, travel.
Yeah, a little bit. I do. I try to go back to Mexico to visit family in Mexico, like at least once a year, if not a couple times a year. And then just throughout the year, just random little trips around. So I make it to LA pretty often for friends, and then I really love going to New York. I've gone to New York a few times, and I'll stay there for as long as I can, just because the food scene there is really, really incredible.
I never have been. I'm gonna ask you, when you travel, do you come home and try to recreate food where you've been?
Sometimes. I think sometimes it depends. I think definitely there's always like some inspiration from the food that I take. And so sometimes that manifests as recreating the food, or sometimes that's like just thinking about like a specific step or a specific process, how the food is made. Yeah, I think after my first trip to New York, I came back and I definitely got more into pizza making, and so I do really love to make pizza every now and then when I can.
That's fantastic.
Do you have any food references in your poetry?
Oh yeah, all the time. I've in my poetry I kind of write some I write like recipes that are poems and recipes, and I have kind of like a couple of like odes. I have one in my most recent book of poetry. Well, my only book of poetry. Do I have a copy here somewhere? Yeah, this is.
I think we do.
This is my book. It's called Hella Mexican.
Oh wow!
It came out with Nomadic Press, which was this press that unfortunately closed down, but was based in Oakland for a while. But you can buy it online through a different press called Black Lawrence. I have ode to Jack in the Box 2 for 99-cent tacos here. which was a childhood staple of mine, like after school or late at night.
I love Jack in the Box. Me too.
Yeah, and it's, obviously, like I'm a nutrition educator, so it's not something that I like really, really like push or try to advertise, but also as a
Don't.
nutrition educator, I try to teach moderation and try to show
Yeah.
people that,
I
like, you
think
can have
food
everything
memories
that
are
you
so
want.
powerful.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, and it's talking about your past, and it's talking about how you grew up and the things you did, school, snack, those kind of things. Well, how can we change that now?
Right.
How can snacks be different than a Jack in the Box and spending $2.99 on tacos? So
Yeah.
no, it's like it's really interesting.
Yeah.
Your copycat updated version.
I have made a burrito taco in my life, with chicken. Yes.
Mm.
It's on my website. So yeah, it's on my Instagram.
Ava,
Awesome.
what motivated you to start the podcast?
On the height of the WGA strike, because people need more entertainment.
Okay.
2019.
People needed more. People needed more to lighten up their joy in life.
Yeah. So I know, Lisa, you have a website, Good Grief Cooking, which has its own amazing story. Mine I started 10 years ago, and it was, it's not your average website where people can go and get everyday recipes. Basically, I put up a lot of my competition cooking.
Mm-hmm.
So the website is just kind of different. It's more educational. We want to see what's going on in cooking. But Lisa, I like yours because it has like everyday recipes in it.
And baking too. Yes.
Well, I just put on there what we eat,
Yeah.
my competition recipes too, but I mean, it is what we're eating.
Oh.
So,
Kevin, do you have a website?
I do not. I use Instagram more than I would like to. So I feel
Me
like
too.
that's where I funnel people to. I have like a link tree thing that just has various ways you can reach me on the internet. But yeah, I just mainly use Instagram. I think maybe I'll get a website sometime soon. It sounds like everybody has a website nowadays.
I need to learn how to use Linktree because I need to learn how can I learn to use that because I'm trying to get advanced in knowledge,
Probably YouTube.
I have a YouTube.
Yes,
Yeah.
YouTube. I learn everything on YouTube.
I do too.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm expanding. So
Creating a blog is difficult.
it is.
I knew nothing about technology, and when I first started out, I kind of did it all wrong, and then
I started it with my story,
Mhm.
Yeah, it starts from somewhere, right? Yours is
Right. And you're never too old to learn something new. That's sort of my philosophy. So
Yeah,
you got to just put yourself out there.
Lisa,
that's right.
You maintained yours all by yourself? Because I've never paid anyone.
Yeah, I have. I have maintained it. I would say most of it when I had to migrate it from WordPress.com to WordPress.org, and someone helped me do that migration.
Okay.
So
Wow.
the rest of it is on occasion I'll ask for help from somebody, but otherwise I do it myself.
Yeah, me too.
Me too.
Yeah,
I don't have ads. I don't monetize my blog, and so a lot of it really costs me a fortune. So once in a while, when I win a contest, it just helps me pay for the things that I need to maintain it.
Absolutely. In
Web
fact,
hosting and all that jazz.
If it wasn't a website, I never would have met Susie.
Right.
And so in 2004, started the website.
Right.
It was
the blogger challenges.
Blogger challenges. That's my website has paid for with that, just with the bloggers challenges.
Right.
And like any other competition, things come and then they go.
Right. I agree.
Often. And there's new competitions, but nothing like what we had, which you probably remember, because I didn't do the Pillsbury.
Right.
I did, yeah. So
I wish everyone could have experienced recipe contests from 30 years ago. I mean, there's nothing like, how they ran the contest, how up and up the contests were. They were fair.
Yeah.
And the prizes were amazing. Everything from, big vacations and cars and kitchen makeovers and, just, back not even that long ago, you could win $1 million, right, for your recipe with the Pillsbury Bake Off. But
Wow.
most of that is all, with the times and economics, all that pretty much has changed. And then all those great cook-offs like the National Beef and National Chicken, where they would bring one person from each state, 50 contestants, and you would, meet for a few days and get the whole farm experience.
Yeah.
Those things were pretty amazing contests. There's still a couple like National Festival of Breads and Cornbread Festival. There's the Butter Home, of course. There's still a few out there, but not like all those all expense paid trips to all over the country were just so much fun.
But so Kevin, you have to understand, this is what's so cool. She's on the East Coast.
Mm-hmm.
Her husband is doing he's entering his burger into the Sutter Home Winery Build a Better Burger.
Mm-hmm.
His region, there's 5 regions. I'm all the way over here and I win my region. So now Lisa and her husband, my husband and I, we get flown, all expenses paid, down to Napa.
And we have a reunion.
And a half ago. And we're all cooking off. There's 5 of us from across the United States. And I get to see Lisa and her husband, Bill. And Bill won the $25,000.
Wow.
I got to eat all the burgers. Yeah. I was just an innocent bystander, and Kim's burger was amazing.
And it was 90 degrees out that day.
All the burgers were really so good. Sometimes I just always think that sometimes the sun, the moon, and the stars are aligned.
Yeah. Have you ever been to San Mateo County Fair? Because last year's county fair did not go well for the fair goers. And they're going to have a town hall in Half Moon Bay on November 20th for San Mateo residents. So if you guys want to, I don't know, they're going to have a listening session, but they are having in-person sessions.
That's tomorrow.
Why didn't it go well?
Because people were complaining about the fair experience.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, the hospitality experience. So, and I didn't get my ribbons last year or the year before.
You didn't receive your ribbons that you?
No, because I did complain to them and I told them I need my prize ribbons. Yeah.
That's hard to get good help these days.
Yes,
I know.
Yes.
Well, I'm sorry that didn't work out for you.
Sure hope
it'll get better. You have to have good. It's probably run by volunteers.
Yeah.
And I think it's probably hard for people, there's working moms, working dads, and you're trying to take care of your kids. It's hard to get, I think, good volunteers sometimes.
And sponsors.
Everybody's so busy, and sponsors, because of economics are just not the greatest right now.
The organizers, yeah.
And Kevin, do you have volunteers?
Oh, with the nonprofit that
Yeah, with Farming Hope.
Yeah, Farming Hope. Yeah, there are some volunteers. I feel like the best way that people can get involved is just buying tickets to when we have our little pop-up dinners, and like donating or becoming like a monthly donor. And we have, but at a lot of our dinners, especially if people have kitchen experience, we like encourage them to come and get involved. So we have some people that go and actually help out in the kitchen, help prep, just help like work alongside our kitchen team. And then for our dinners that are open to the public, typically all of the front of house staff, all the servers are volunteers too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to ask, are y'all working right now on any recipes for any upcoming competitions?
I am. I'm working on some stuff.
What are you working on?
I'm thinking about working on Hershey's. There's a bake screen contest coming up. And then what about you guys? I heard there's a prune contest coming up.
Lisa.
I think today was the deadline for the prune contest.
Well,
I missed it.
That prune katsu that you did?
Yes.
Oh.
That looks good.
Amazing.
Thank you. That was really delicious, actually. It was so surprisingly so good.
I loved it.
Wait, did you say prune katsu?
Yes.
Yeah. So I seasoned flour with Asian 5-spice, dredged the prunes in the flour, then an egg wash, and then panko breadcrumbs, and deep fried it and served it with a katsu sauce. And, salty, sweet, crispy, delicious. Absolutely delicious.
That's awesome. That is so cool.
Yeah. There's a lard contest now.
Yes, there's a lard contest. And then also recently you just placed in another competition.
Hillshire
Farms with the
Hillshire Farms. My Frico.
Yeah.
Do you know what's funny about competitions? I can work on an idea for days and try and perfect something and love it and send it into a competition. And then I can not win. And then I can work on something like Hillshire Farms, which literally took me 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, the idea popped into my brain and I win. So I don't know. Sometimes there's no rhyme or reason to.
I just sent a recipe to Hillshire Farms too. I did that. I made a pizza for them with little smokies,
Yeah. I mean, seriously. And can I ask, please, did you win 3,000 for that one?
Yes.
What?
Right at
$3,000 was the prize.
That's incredible.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Lucky girl.
I'm working on, so Melissa's Produce always has throughout the year kinds of competitions going. Kind of an awkward kind of, thing where you sign up every week. They give you, hey, let's make this. And they give you the recipe, but you can be creative. You can do other stuff with it. This week it is persimmons. And so you do some kind of board. And so I've got some ideas, and it doesn't have to be, you're not making a recipe. What you're doing is you're using their product or you're mentioning them. It's the baking family challenge. That's the hashtag. And so I'll do some persimmon cookies, some bread. I'll make a board. That's my idea. I'm going to make a persimmons board, and then because there's going to be so much on it and I can't eat all that, we'll probably take it to an event and just, let friends and family, do it. You only have to enter 2 times, and then there are all kinds of prizes. I think it's a random selection when it comes to the end, but not this summer, but last summer I won a private cooking class with Chef Teela.
Me too.
Yeah.
I went twice.
Oh, I know. We had different cooking times. I think you cooked at a different or a different scheduled time.
I do earlier. Yeah.
But Melissa sent us 2 cases of produce, products, wine. There was even a bottle of wine in there.
Yeah, I gave it to my dad.
Okay, now you're making me want to enter.
You have to. And to have that private cooking class with at Teela, when there was only literally 5 in our group at the time, and we did the Zoom cook, he made it so special. He made it personable. He took the time to ask every single one of us.
Oh yeah.
How do you do this? Why do you enter cooking competitions? I mean, he made it more about everybody that was there versus, him. Plus he had they had sent all the ingredients for us to make the recipes that we were going to cook together. So that was a good one. So anyway, I'm in for Melissa's again, but other than that, I'm taking some time off. In fact, my Instagram is really quiet right now.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Well, that's what's great about cooking. You can either be heavily involved or take a break from it, the competitions. There were times I didn't enter a competition for a few years
Wow.
and then eventually,
Good.
jumped back in.
Yeah.
And there were times that I had to take a break here and there because of family issues have come up. And, with my mom being in hospice, but it happens. It's life, so.
Yeah.
If it's and if it's a hobby and a passion, and
Yeah,
so
it's a love. I put love into it,
Mm-hmm.
to the back burner when needed. But
I do it for both my hobby and for love. I do it I put my life into it. So, yeah.
and so there's a really cool, I don't even know if Lisa's heard this story, but so in 2018, Mark won, and this is his famous eggnog, cookie recipe.
Oh.
It's cookie eggnog recipe. And we knew that he had become one of the Taste of Home winners of that. And it was like, oh, cool. So I get a phone call that my mom is on hospice. So you know this, Ava, right?
Yes.
And I fly from Oregon to North Dakota, not knowing when I'm coming back home. And so so I'm with her for 2 months while she's passing. But right before Christmas, my mom was an avid taste deen person. She had every book. I have them now. I inherited them. And I told her, she knew that I was entering the Taste of Home competition cooking things. And one of the days while I'm sitting, her last magazine that she got to see came in the mail. And I said, Mom, can I open up your Taste of Home magazine? She's like, yeah. I mean, she's laying in a hospital bed in the living room, and let's open this magazine. In the index is Mark's cookies, and next to that was one of mine.
Oh,
Yeah. Super cool.
that's something.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, that's awesome.
It's a good story.
That is fantastic.
I think one of the most surprising things about recipe competitions is when you are required to use a product, right?
Yeah.
And so your goal is how best to advertise that product. And oftentimes they were things that normally I would probably have never paid attention to or bought in the grocery store. And then it turns out that I love the product, and then I continue to buy it and use it, versus some other products that I've also tried in a competition and definitely would never buy again.
Yeah, and that after a while, and especially dealing with the company itself and the reputation, or what some companies don't really give a rip about
Right.
what happens afterwards. I mean, all of us, and Lisa knows this very well. So do you, Ava. We create these recipes, you enter them into the contest, and they become property of the contest.
Oh, yeah.
And so we've done all this work, recipe testing, multiple times over, and they have a very limited amount of investment in this. And they gain so much.
Right.
Recipes that, yeah.
And we're also doing the photography, the food styling.
Yes.
Sometimes you're writing a story about the recipe. So the sponsors are smart, because, they may get 400, 500 recipes and all of the photography.
And they care.
And, and it might be a $500 prize that they're giving out. If they had to hire a food photographer and a recipe developer, it would cost them so much more.
Yeah.
For what they're getting in return.
I will say recently, Wix Pies on back to our last competition that we did. Did you do Wix Pies?
Yes.
So it was so nice that they put a new collection of recipes up on their website. And I can tell that they did a little searching. They were on my website. They put one of my recipes up on their website. That didn't, I didn't win. It was those autumn cookies that had that filling in between them. And, but they mentioned me. They took some of my story out of my website, and within no time, it's like, oh, my back page, what was telling me all my visitors, it's like,
yeah.
It's like, not like I'm trying to look for an audience, but it's like I could see the activity of what one company can do,
right,
to mention you. And just,
well, and that gives you a backlink, and
guys, you guys want to hold on.
What?
So this is a product I wanted to show you. Have you heard about this product? It's a Costco. It's called Fisher and Weiser raspberry chipotle sauce.
I have not heard of it.
You could use this on goat cheese spread. You could use this on a chicken, and you could use it's a multi-purpose sauce.
What's the ingredients in there, Ava?
It has cane sugar, raspberries, jalapenos, and pectin.
Sounds good.
And you can use it for different recipes.
Have you used it in any of your recipes?
I haven't done it yet, but I'm actually working on some ideas.
Great. Sounds good.
Cooking at your house this Thanksgiving, Ava?
I'm cooking the side dishes. My dad says he'll still do the turkey, but only small turkey dishes. We're going small this year.
Okay. I've got 12 coming.
We are 13.
13.
How about you,
I got
Kevin?
6.
I don't think I feel like my mom always ends up making a lot, and people will just show up. So I mean, in the immediate family, it's like I think 10 people that will show up, and then who knows, there might be like another 10 that cycle through either on the day or the day after for
always
sandwiches.
room for one more.
Yeah.
Mine is 6. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I always like the more the merrier.
Yep. And one of so you talk about traditions. This is really weird. A few years ago, and we're talking like 4 years ago, I decided to get a bingo game where, you roll the bingo,
Yes.
And so I packaged enough prizes for one for every person. And so as he would call and I'd go around, make sure everybody had their little pieces, all that kind of thing. After dinner, but we made it like a white elephant. So if you bingoed, you got to pick a, you opened it, showed everybody what it was. The next person who bingoed, steal that, or they could go new prize off the table.
Wow.
We've been doing this for 4 years. So here's what's really cool this year. I won a giveaway. It was Rebecca Evans' giveaway with Chef Jamie from Pampered Chef and the FYI 50 Plus. And I've got these beautiful Pampered Chef items. My girls are, I know the fight is on. One of them said the fight is on.
There you go.
I love it. It's
My
so,
bestie, I know.
yeah. And so I'm taking my wins, my giveaway wins, and we're going to enhance that. And bingo is going to be so much fun.
You know what? I'm going to steal your idea. I'm going to get, grandma's coming over. So we're definitely going to play Lotteria this Thanksgiving. So I'm taking that idea.
Yeah, that sounds really great. I love that idea.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys, this has been fun. Yeah. Wonderful to meet you, Kevin. And I will be looking up Farming Hope for sure.
Yeah, check them out. And I would love to hear. I was gonna say I've never entered a recipe or cooking competition. So if there's any that y'all are like see or planning to participate in that you think it'd be fun to see me in, please let me know. I'd be interested.
You should do Chef's Roll.
I love it. Roll
Chef's Roll is a good program for professional chefs, and they're on social media. I'll send you the information.
Yeah.
That one's a tough one, I will say. I did a chef roll just with, and the winning person won a trip to Japan.
Whoa.
Yeah.
2 first and second place winners, which was $3,000 each. And I don't know why I entered, other than I love Asian food. And
Yeah.
But when I saw one of the entries, I'm like, I showed it to Mark, my husband, and I said, "This is the winner. I know it." And
Yeah.
it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Meticulous. So, you know, Kevin, you know, there's going to be so many things, and I don't know how much time you've got or what access you have to preparing plates and stuff like that. But a lot of it is just, you know, is this recipe, is this ingredient for you? Do you love it? Do you find it that you would want to make a dish and enter? And there's enough contests, smaller ones, right? Don't you think, Lisa, that there's enough?
The first thing that came to my mind is the lard contest. When I think of Mexican cooking and your experience with that, lard is big. So cook, you know, and I always tell people who want to enter a contest, cook your food.
Yes.
Don't try to cook somebody else's food.
Cook your family recipe.
Your food, and it's authentic, and I think you'll do well.
Got you. Who's hosting the lard contest?
It's called Coast Packing.
Gotcha.
Coast Packing.
So I think if you Google Coast Packing lard contest, and the deadline is something like December 8th. It's, you know, it's right around the corner, and you do have to take a photograph of it. You know, you can photograph using your phone. You don't have to be too fancy. Just, you know, have some good natural light. And I would start with that one.
All right.
So Kevin, you said you're on Instagram. Are you under Farming Hope, or what are you under on Instagram? Oh yeah,
Farming Hope is the nonprofit's Instagram, but mine is just K. It's just the first letter of my name, K, and then my last name, Madrigal.
Okay. Do you mind if we follow you? Or
no, it'd be great. I'd love to connect with you there.
Kim's gonna start stalking you now.
So hey, because I give you guys permission. I'm the host of the show, so it's fine. So
thanks, Ava.
Thank you, Ava.
Yeah,
I love it. Well, thank
you. It was great.
Do you have any more questions for us?
Well, so one more. We're gonna wrap it up. So since we all talked about contests, you guys were great on the show. We had a great time talking about Thanksgiving traditions, recipe contests, and you guys were wonderful on the show. This was too much fun, and we had it great. And Kevin will have an exclusive interview with you in December, okay? So can't wait to see you, Kevin, okay?
Yeah.
Great seeing you all. Nice to meet you, Kevin.
Yeah,
you too, bye.
See you in the winner's circle.
See you, bye.
Bye-bye.
See you, Kevin, for interview. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
You good, Lisa? Okay. So that was the Thanksgiving Happy Hour podcast special. So it was a great show. So let's wrap things up. So as we say, saucy to perfection, happy Thanksgiving. From my panelists, from our kitchen to yours. Cheers!